You got 6 dead bodies in the local ice rink. You have protests around the mine. You need to get this shit under control.
After getting some backstory about Annie's and Clark's relationship, hearing about Navarro's upbringing, and witnessing the last moments before Annie's death, we have so many questions that remain as we take a look at the latest trailer for episode 4, part 4 of True Detective Night Country, as I'll attempt to break down and solve this case. We open this trailer with Captain Conley talking to Liz about what she predicted would become a shitbowl. As her 48 hours are up, we see that the bodies are being taken away to Anchorage as Peter watches. Conley mentions that the protesting has occurred around the mine, as we have this shot of the front doors having been spray painted with murderers. As we know, some people of the town have experienced the unfortunate death of stillborn babies due to the effects of the mines. Now you'll notice that this face here is the same drawing of someone with that tattoo that we know that Leah had on temporarily. Which makes me wonder if Leah was the one that maybe spray painted this on the doors, and I wonder if Liz might suspect her being involved. We see Liz has a copy of Annie's last video on her phone and wants to find the location that this was taken. As we hear the voiceover of Navarro mentioning that there aren't any ice caves where Annie's body was found, meaning that whoever killed Annie may have moved her body closer to the mines as a cover-up away from the research location or wherever this ice cave might be, because they knew the tension between Annie and the mines. As we have this shot here of Navarro and Peter teaming up for the first time this season, as we see Navarro with the flashlight looking down on what appears to be some type of abandoned warehouse or maybe an old mine building of some sorts. We have Liz paying a visit to Bryce to learn more about this unknown location, as he says that it is a death trap and there were a bunch of accidents that took place years back. Now maybe this mine location was shut down due to those accidents, but now is being used as a hidden location for people that want to go hiding. As we get this shot of the clothes and shoes placed very similar to the ones we saw back in episode 2. So could this possibly be the location of the killer? Which makes me believe that this is maybe where the killer lives or brings his sacrifices like Annie or the scientists. Now is it me, or does Bryce seem to know a lot about what's going on, whether it's what the scientists were doing and now providing information about this death trap? I wonder if him knowing so much will end up getting him killed. As we have this shot of what I assume is Navarro and Liz going to look for those hidden caves. As we have the voiceover by Peter saying that
the men are out there looking for Clark.
Now every Sunday I host the after show immediately after the episode, and we had a discussion last night about the possibility of Peter maybe being the killer, because I'm very curious on who he could possibly be talking to in this moment. So let me know in the comments, do you believe that Peter might be involved in the death of Annie K? Because as they say in most cases, everyone's a suspect at some point. Did Peter maybe kill her because she knew too much? As I go back to the line that we heard back in episode 2, as Hank said to his son, blood is blood, and to remember that. As we see Liz at maybe the same location from earlier with Navarro as she sees footprints, which makes me think, are those the footprints of Clark who's been hiding here? As we even see Liz says,
"Where's he hiding?"
As we see a shot of Peter and Navarro having a light pointing at them. Now, I might guess that that's probably Liz. They were probably all at the same location and got split up at some point, and now they're running into each other in this scene. As we end this trailer with shots of an orange coming from under a bed, and the very next shot shows Navarro looking at what seems to be a medical center. Now, I would assume that this has something to do with Jules having another breakdown and Navarro having to break her promise to not taking her to a hospital. Now, going back to the significance of that orange, I remember seeing in one of the main trailers this exact same moment, as it was shown that that is Jules in that scene with the orange, but we've seen this orange in the recent episode rolling back to Navarro, and it's also seen in the opening credits. So I think it's probably a good assumption to think that they both had a bad omen or a bad experience with the orange. Maybe when they were young, their mother gave them an orange to eat before she left them and ended up dying. And maybe the orange is a message from their dead mother. Our final shots show Leah sleeping and Liz moving her hair back. We have a fight taking place outside of an auto shop, or maybe someone being arrested. This might be the same scene that we saw earlier with Navarro and Peter. As you'll notice, there was cars behind them, so this is probably the same auto shop. We see this rock with the spiral imprint on it, as well as other spiral symbols behind them. Again, my guess is that this is maybe a location or a hub for those who know about the spiral. We have the same shot of Holden and Navarro from episode 3, as Navarro says,
"It takes us one by one."
I'm assuming she's referring to grieving, or maybe she's referring to this night country taking the sanity of these people. You see Liz is upset as she throws the evidence off the table and she says that there's nothing except us. Now I would think that this is a scene between Liz and Navarro speaking about the supernatural or the spiritual, and Liz responding to the dead not being present or the supernatural not being involved or trying to communicate with the living. You'll even notice there's a bottle of alcohol next to Liz as she's drinking, this showing that this case has really gotten to her. We see Navarro hugging and saying goodbye to her sister, most likely the same scene of her taking her to the hospital. Now, speaking of Jules, I don't think it's a coincidence that she has the exact same hair color as Annie did at some point in her life. I'm starting to wonder if she subconsciously chose that color, or maybe Annie is speaking to her from the dead. We end the trailer with someone crashing into a pile of snow as Liz and Navarro arrive at what I assume is maybe the ice cave that Annie died in, as we hear a voiceover from an unknown character saying that
we're all in the night country now.
Now going back to that shot, you'll notice that Navarro's face is bruised. Is that from that fight scene, or was she the one that got into that car accident with the snow? Now, who exactly is this unknown character? To me, it sounds like a similar voice that came from Lund before he died, so I bet someone is being possessed and is saying this before they're dying. Could it be Clark or someone that we haven't met yet? Maybe it's the final words that William Willer said before he was shot, or maybe it's Jules being possessed and this is the reason why she ended up going to the hospital. As I believe this episode will explore more of the minds, we're going to see a major breakdown with Jules and it has some type of importance to the story. We may find Clark and learn more about the death trap and who's hiding there, and Liz might have a breakdown of her own. Either way, I am so excited for episode 4, part 4. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to get more of my True Detective breakdowns. Check out my breakdown of part 3, episode 3, as well as my after show that I hosted last night. And also, more importantly, share your thoughts and your theories about what you hope to see in this new episode. You all are awesome, stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.